I work for Nabisco as a sales service representative. I go from store to store in whatever region I'm assigned to for the day. I spend usually 6 hours in each store depending on the amount of product in the shipment. Today I was doing my normal Walmart service and something I could never imagine happened. I'm required to wear pants and a collared shirt for my position. It's not really a big deal, except on the hot days when I leave the stores to enter my car that's a ripe 110 degrees. Today I was wearing khakis and a blue collared shirt, my first mistake. All the Walmart employees wear blue and a crossing guard bright yellow vest. I was doing my usual thing, throwing Oreos on shelves and making sure the rates are all straight, when a new Walmart employee came over to me. Employee: "Hey, there's a mandatory meeting for us in the receiving deck." Me: "Sorry, I don't actually work." Employee: "It's mandatory." Instead of putting up a fight about it, knowing I had to go to receiving to get more product, I went with a new dude. I got back there and walked by the group of employees gathered around the store manager, who I have had several conversations with before. I thought, no biggie, squeak on by and just get one box of Chips Ahoy, and then leave. As I walk by the group, I hear a faint "excuse me?" I turn around to see a woman I have never seen before. I guess a woman from regional doing some sort of wellness and performance check. Me: "Can I help you?" Woman: "Actually yes, you can help by joining us." Once again, not wanting to get into a confrontation, I just walked on over there and decided to try and wait it out. The woman went on and on, but didn't seem to stop. I tried to sneak away, giving the store manager a little nod, kind of confirming that I was going to leave. I stood up and the woman had more things to say. Woman: "Excuse me? Who gave you permission to leave?" Me: "I don't actually work here." Woman: "It's a rhetorical question, sit down." I decided that I was just going to walk away. After all, I didn't actually work there. I walked over to our back stock and grabbed the cookies and left. After around 45 minutes of stocking shelves, I had to go back and grab more of the items from the back stock. I returned to the back room, and proceeded to load the boat with more product. Lo and behold, regional lady approaches me. Woman: "Extremely disrespectful to try and upstage me, what makes you think you can do something like that to a higher-up?" Trying to explain, I tried to tell you, I don't war. Woman: No, you don't talk back to me, pack it up and go." I was absolutely dumbfounded. It was so cliché, like bad movie cliché, but I was going to do what was requested. I packed it up and left, leaving a half-loaded boat in the back room with me. Later I got a call from my boss saying that Walmart called complaining I didn't finish the case shipment. I explained the scenario and was off the hook. I like to think the manager will now have a half-stocked cookies and crackers aisle, and have to personally stock it for not standing up for me. A couple years ago, I was working for a theme park as a live entertainment support tech. As you can tell by my username, I'm a lighting stagehand by trade. This particular story takes place on my second day of work, after returning from a 4-year hiatus. We were all working hard to get the summer show up on its feet, and ready for tech in a couple weeks, so we took a longer lunch break than normal. Low-level staff, like myself, and our department supervisors, at a pizza place across the street. Now, the way we dressed for this position was fairly distinctive amongst our staff, but I guess less so when you leave the park. We wear show blacks, all black clothing, down to socks and undershirt. Some stickers even insist you wear black underwear. The black shirts, button-up work shirts, we had, as well as the ball caps several of us were wearing, had the name of the theme park and entertainment in silver, in a less than missable font. On top of which, we had name tags with the company logo, and our tool belts on our hips. The pizza place, however, had shorter sleeves black polos, for managers, or t-shirts, though a similar black theme. They were not at all alike. Anyway, sorry for the long setup, but it's important you know how unbelievable this situation was. So, I'm making my way through the buffet, grabbing pizza and some salad, when I hear it. The impatient shriek of "Excuse me." I'm focused on my lunch, as we are still on a time crunch after all. Naturally, I assumed this woman just wanted me to step aside, so I politely moved. I heard a distinct huff, then felt a not too gentle tap on my shoulder. I turned around, confused. Can I? Finally, I've managed to get someone's attention. All these tables are filthy and I want you to clean one for me. I blinked for a moment, about to utter the words you all expect. I got as far as, I don't. I know you're on your lunch break, but you can stuff your face in a while. You have a paying customer here with no place to sit. Am I just supposed to eat standing like an animal? Yes. She actually said that. I point to the logo on my work shirt, she doesn't even look. But nonetheless, I say sorry. I can't clean your table for you. There's always someone at the register, maybe they can. You're right here, right now, why should I have to wait for someone else to do your job? At this point, I just sigh and begin to walk off. Karen shrieks, I want to talk to your manager. As it so happens, guess who was sitting at the table with our staff? Suddenly, I get an idea that probably belongs on our malicious compliance. I flag my manager over. Hey Spotlight, what's going on? Me, this woman said she wanted to speak to my manager. Why would? K, this lazy sack of shit isn't doing her job, I want you to tell her to clean me a table. Now. Spotlight doesn't work for the pizza place. Neither do I. K, what the fuck is wrong with people these days, no one ever gives good service anymore. My manager, seeing just what I'd been putting up with, went off on Karen. She didn't yell, and was very controlled, to the point it was scary. I wish I could remember exactly what she said, but I had wandered out of earshot after she told me to take my food and sit down. All I know is, Karen finally seemed to get the message. Here's the best part. I don't know exactly why, but Karen left. Without ever eating a single slice of pizza she paid for. My manager ended up giving me some cash to cover my lunch after all the crap. So thanks Karen, I guess. So maybe this was my fault for wearing all black and going to buy something at Saks Fifth for my girlfriend. But on to the story, so there I am perusing the racks trying to find my girl a nice dress, when suddenly this older woman runs up to me and says I've been waiting for 15 minutes for someone to help me, here take these and ring me up. I then look at her arm extended with all the clothes and say, who told you, you could wear that? She is stunned. She then says, excuse me? I then elaborate and said that you simply cannot pull this off, you're too old for such a dress. She then says, where is your manager? How dare you speak to a customer like that? I'm going to have you fired. I then point to the first person I see with a suit on standing behind the counter and she storms off. Then I stand and watch as she starts shouting at this man and pointing at me. I can tell he's apologizing and trying to calm her down, but when she points to me he looks confused. I can only assume he told her that I didn't work there, cause next thing I know she looks at me and flips me off. And I go off with my day with this lovely story to tell and a smile. I finally have something to share, it's short but it was interesting. And #X200B. So, I work as an administrative assistant at a small architecture firm. I get a phone call and answer with my standard greeting, good morning. Small architect firm / this is Can Ed Champagne, can I help you? I'm greeted with that old lady shriek, you know, the one, where they swear to God that telephones are still transceivers from 1940. Hi, this is, client of ours / I have an appointment there at 9:15 tomorrow. I'm sorry ma'am, I don't have you scheduled with, architect / Did you speak to him to make the appointment? What are you talking about? Of course I have an appointment, I need a CT scan done, and you scheduled me and I need IT done. Ma'am, this is, architecture firm / I believe you may have called the wrong number. Well, transfer me to radiology then. Ma'am, I'm sorry, again, this is, architecture firm / not your doctor's office, you're going to have to call them, I cannot transfer you to anyone. I don't understand why you won't transfer me, it is just a simple button. Well, give me the number then if you won't do your job. I'll call myself. Ma'am, I don't know the number or even what office you're talking about. I don't understand why you people can't just do your jobs. And she hung up on me. This is one of our clients and she is generally a sweet lady. I wonder if I should warn the architect of how she behaves when she doesn't get her way. Anyway, I know it was a small simple one, but it was a strange one to have happened to me in my own office. 2/10 would not do again. TLDR, an old lady called my architect office and was positive we were her doctor. \edit, typo. And #X200B. \edited to add, I did tell the architect about the weird call. But we're not going to be doing anything about it. Just going to keep it in mind moving forward. We are almost done with her project and honestly, we usually speak with her husband anyway as he's been the main point of contact. I work for a pretty large security company that has a contract with the absolute biggest employer in the city. This is where I work security for. I also live in a security-protected apartment complex. Plot twist. It is protected by the same company I work for. My apartment was right next to the clubhouse. This was where security parked. Some background information. The company as a whole uses tan shirts for supervisors and white shirts for the officers, but the specific contract for this employer dictated that supervisors wore white shirts and officers wore blue. I am a supervisor. To top it off, my apartment complex is only a 5-minute drive, 15-minute walk, from where I work. On this one particular day, I had just gotten off at 8 am from a 12-hour shift and have exactly 8 hours before I had to be back in for another 12-hour shift. I also had to deal with an employee of the company I protect trying to start fist fights and punching me in the face just 20 minutes before my shift ended. So I was already on edge. I pulled my car up to the front of my apartment, and being the friendly introvert I am waved to the security guard who was looking directly at me, and then went towards my front door. As I was moving through the big keyring to get my key out, my shoulder is grabbed and I am violently turned around. Still haven't been able to settle down from the incident at work. I put the guy who grabbed me over the railing and on his head. He wasn't injured or anything. It took him a minute to get up though as he went a full 180 in under a second. When I realized it was the security guard of the complex, I walked over and tried to help him up. He fired off at me. "You aren't allowed in the residents' apartments. I'll have you fired for this." Now I have seen this guy a few times when I went to check the mail, but he seemed not to recognize me. I can fully understand. I see 500 people walk in and out where I work and I never bother learning names unless 1. I work with you every day. 2. Are one of the big shots who actually can fire me that instant. 3. Cause trouble frequently. Needless to say I can understand the lack of recognition. I don't work here. I live here. Bullshit, he immediately responded once he got back on his feet. I know our uniform. You're the new guy supposed to be relieving me. He grabbed my arm and tried to show me where the car was. Remove your hand from my arm or I will remove it from yours. I was already done in looking at most, 6 hours of sleep, still in fight mode. I would have apologized later for this line but ... spoilers. He's already on the radio calling in his supervisor to come deal with me. An hour later, the property manager is coming in to open the clubhouse. She stops, smiles and waves and comes over. "Hi. Didn't think you would be out at this time." The property manager and I were pretty cool with each other. I am skilled enough to make most repairs myself, am never late with rent, and once ran out to the pool to perform CPR for a resident. She also knew from the inspection yesterday that I was going to be pulling a messed up 12 on 8 off 12 on couple days. Before I can explain anything, the other guard butted in. He was trying to go into a resident's apartment. I got my supervisor on the way. He won't be doing it again here. Ladies and gentlemen. I turned him upside down. The property manager, a nice sweet older woman, was about to turn this idiot inside out. Before she could say anything, the officer's supervisor drove up and asked what was going on. She cut the officer off and told him, "This fool is holding one of our residents hostage outside his apartment. I want him out of this complex 5 minutes ago and he will not be coming back here. Ever." The supervisor just gave the officer a dismissive thumb back motion. He had no leeway to argue. The contract he can always tell who not to allow on any site, even our own employees. Yeah, he was fired on the spot. And this is not the end, folks. Remember how I said we worked for the same company? The corporate big shots decided to rehire him and send him to the largest employer they guard and give him a second shot. He arrived for an interview at my facility, where I had hiring power. The interview went all of 3 questions. 1. Are you going to keep anyone out that is supposed to be in here? 2. Are you going to ask for credentials for anyone you don't know trying to enter? 3. Are you going to grab anyone? He said no, and I accepted him to the facility. He's been working a year here now and is one of my best access control officers on site. Even to the point someone claimed he let someone in that wasn't authorized, and I left instantly.